Hi, this is Julien, Stoutt, licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, world record powerlifter, here to help you be the best you. Now, today's topic is Tua Tagovailoa and his concussions. Recently, I just got wind of all of the hoopla behind his injuries. I know I'm a little late to the party, but the truth is that I didn't see the video until this past weekend of the first injury. I did see the second injury, but I didn't see the first injury, and I wanted to know what the noise was about, because when I heard that he got injured on Sunday, then that past Sunday, I realized that there might have been something else going on here. And the information that I gathered is that they claimed it was a back injury. When I saw the video, it clearly shows his head smacking up against the field, and they claimed it was back injury. Now the thing is that he might have had a back injury, but they missed his concussion. He began shaking the cobwebs out, and then upon shaking the cobwebs out, he then went and stumbled to the ground, losing his balance and losing all forms of coordination. And then they sent him off the field, and then he came back in the second half and started playing, running the risk of him suffering another injury. But to make matters worse, they let him play on Thursday. And by letting him play on Thursday, he got whipped around and smacked again on the field. This time he really smacked his head up against the field, and he went into what we call a decorticate position. And within that decorticate position, his fingers were all curled up, and his elbows were locked in this position, which indicates a severe traumatic brain injury. And what most people don't realize is that in this industry, you have to ask yourself, who is responsible? Now, as somebody who graduated with a degree in athletic training, which basically our job is to protect the athlete at all costs. And in this situation, regardless of whether he was the star athlete or whether he was just a bench warmer who happened to be in the game, I wouldn't let him come back on the field. True story, I had a situation where a student playing football for a high school team, he went in for a quarterback sneak, he got dogpiled, but then he came out yelling, "I can't see," which is an indicator of a concussion. But to make sure that he really did have a concussion, sometimes that might be a thing, but the doctor checked him over, and this is not to disparage the doctor, but the doctor then cleared him because he remembered the words that he was supposed to remember. And after doing all of that, we figured he was cognitively fine, and they were about to let him go back in the game. My back is turned to him, and the young man actually asked, "Did I score?" And when that happened, I literally went and grabbed his helmet, went over to the team doctor, told him he's done, and went over to the coach and told him their star quarterback is done. And nobody questioned me in the sense of making me feel like, do I know what I'm talking about? Do I know what I'm doing? I literally called it, and the doctor asked me one question. And the one question he asked me, I answered him with confidence, not meaning confidence like I faked it, but real confidence. I said he did not remember whether he scored a touchdown or not. And the team doctor looked me in the eye and said, "Good catch." The thing is that the egregiousness of the situation is not based on the fact that somebody missed it. It's the fact that everybody missed it. And this situation that happened to me was in 2008. This is not, some 14, 15 years later. This is back when concussion protocols were new. They were starting to make it more mandatory about those concussion protocols and stuff. So it was relatively new on how we were detecting them. We've had 15 years of detecting these concussions now. There was no reason under the sun that Miami missed that call. And the reason why I'm pointing that out is because anybody could have called that in. I was an athletic training student. I didn't even graduate yet. And for the simple fact that me, a lowly athletic training student, could look a doctor in the eye and tell him this kid is done, means that anybody on that staff should have been able to say, yo, he is not good. So the thing is that I'm going to turn around and go one step further, and I'm going to make a declaration right here, right now. If Tua Tagovailoa is on the field within the next 4 games, we have a problem. That man should be in a dark room, minimal to no light whatsoever. That man should be in concussion protocols for a minimum of 3 weeks. And I mean 3 weeks of official concussion protocol. However, within that, he should not even play another game. Even when he's cleared to play, he should miss another week. So at the very minimum, he should be out 4 games. If he's back within 4 games, and well, I shouldn't say 4 games because I don't know when their bye week is, but he should be out for a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks. If he's not out for 4 to 6 actual weeks, then we have a problem. And I'm going to scream bloody murder in regards to that. And I will call for any and everybody that is involved in the medical staff to be fired if he's back in less than 4 weeks. I don't care about him having to prove himself because he has been doubted in the past. I don't care about his situation with getting paid this upcoming year. None of that matters, because I don't see how anybody could sleep at night knowing that you're putting this man's life at risk, his quality of life at risk, just for a paycheck, or just for the sake of glory, or just for the sake of winning a couple games. Now he's out for 4 to 6 weeks, minimum 4 to 6 weeks. And until he passes concussion protocols for real, I don't see any reason for him to be on the field. And I pray for him. I pray for his health and recovery. I pray that he will be able to play football again with all of his faculties, instead of having to try to navigate himself through the system. I really do genuinely hope that he's okay and that he actually can do something. Whether he's on my team or not is irrelevant. Athletics is an important aspect of my life, and I respect all that do what they do on their field of play, but this is not cool, and this is not acceptable. I know a lot of athletes have various weird injuries, like, if you ever looked at Michael Strahan's fingers, they're all mangled. I've seen football players with partial collarbones that played with partial collarbones. God, we ain't even gonna talk about knees and toes and all of that stuff. But these people deserve to have a quality of life worth living, and no head injury is worth its weight in gold. No head injury. So hopefully they will look after him, they will take care of him, and Teddy Bridgewater could hold down the fort until he is 100% ready to play. I don't want to hear nobody giving him any grief because he's not ready to get on the field yet. I don't even care if he's got the yips right now or once he's cleared. When he's ready 100% is when that man should be back on the field, and not a moment before. He could turn around and fake the funk and say he's fine right now. Also, one of the things I forgot, they let the man get on the plane after a concussion. You're in a pressurized canister at 30,000 feet. You don't know how bad that could have been. You let him get on the plane immediately after the game, I'm sorry, no. What happened to overnight observation? What happened to a battery of tests? From what I heard, the report says he got his battery of tests in Miami. Why are you letting him go home with such a nasty injury? Yes, UFC fighters get knocked out all the time and they go into that position. But you want to know what else is sad about that situation? I've watched in boxing matches and in UFC matches where somebody did get dropped, and then when they got up and then they tried to go again and they collapsed, fight was over. How is it possible? How is it possible that you watch this man get knocked on his back? He stood up, took a couple of steps, and collapsed to his knees and was stumbling and flopping around, and you didn't call him for that game. And not only did you not call him for that game, but knowing that you had a Thursday game within the week, you shouldn't have played him that Thursday. Somebody got fired, and truthfully, that's somebody who fell on their sword, because other people are responsible, because I know that there's an athletic training staff there. They need to be called out too. I'm not even going to play that game and say, oh, whoever needs to be fired needs to be fired. No, athletic training staff needs to be checked, suspended, and or fired, because at the very minimum, athletic training staff should have been making noise. Now, if it comes to find out that the athletic training staff did make noise and said he shouldn't be back in there, whoever overrode them should be fired. And whoever overrode the overrider of that, it's just a snowball right now. And I'm assuming the best for the athletic training staff, but whoever did overlook this injury or overrode this injury to allow that man to play again should definitely be fired. And if it is the man that fell on his sword, then yes, deserves to be fired 100%. So hopefully Tua will be back so that the Miami Dolphins and he could be the best him. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. We're at about 82 subscribers, guys. I want to get to 100 by the end of this month. Please hook a brother up and send out and share these videos with people who need to see them. And tell me your thoughts and your comments below, because I would like to hear from you. Have a nice day.